everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today, and this one is a little bit unnerving.
Oh.
Yeah, it's about kids on social media.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this article called The Hidden Dangers of Using Children for Social Media Content, How It Could Affect Their Future.
Wow. Yeah, just the title alone.
I know. Gives me chills. We're building these digital identities for these kids,
Right, and they don't even know what a digital footprint is.
Exactly. Before they can even tie their shoes.
It's like we're writing their life story before they can even hold a pen.
And it's not just about, like, those embarrassing childhood photos coming back to haunt them later. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Like, you remember that video that went viral a few years ago with that little girl
Uh-huh.
throwing a tantrum at Disneyland?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a part of her digital footprint forever.
Oh, gosh.
Like, can you imagine being that girl 10 years from now, applying to college, and knowing that that video is out there for anyone to see?
Oh, it makes me cringe just thinking about it. Like, we're creating these online reputations for them.
Right.
Before they even understand what reputation means.
Yeah, and think about it like applying for a job.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And your potential employer sees a video of you as a toddler throwing a tantrum or like promoting some product you don't even remember.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's like we're setting them up for judgment before they've even had a chance to define themselves.
Totally agree.
And this article goes even deeper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it talks about the psychological and emotional impact of all this exposure.
Makes sense.
Think about, like, if your childhood is constantly being broadcasted,
Right.
how do you develop a sense of privacy?
Yeah, where do you even draw the line?
I know. Between your personal life and your online persona.
It must be so confusing for kids.
Oh, absolutely, especially when they're still developing their sense of self.
Right. They're figuring out who they are.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they have this online audience weighing in on their every move and judging their every action.
It's like growing up under a microscope.
I can't even imagine.
I know this article uses the term digital footprint, but honestly, it feels more like a digital tattoo.
Oof. Yeah.
It's permanent,
Yeah.
it's public, and it's something they have very little control over.
Right. Especially in those early years.
Especially in those early years.
Yeah.
And that lack of control, I think, is where things get ethically
Oh, yeah.
murky.
For sure.
Can a toddler even understand what it means to have their image shared with millions of strangers?
Well, I mean, how could they?
Right.
Mm.
Do they have the capacity
Yeah.
to consent to being the face of a brand?
Right. Even if it's just for a cute Instagram post.
Exactly. It's a tough question.
Yeah, it really is.
And then there's the whole commercialization of childhood.
Ugh. Don't even get me started.
Oh, it's a whole other can of worms.
It is.
It's one thing to share cute family moments, but when kids are being used to promote products and generate income, are we crossing a line?
It's a very blurry line.
It is.
And the legal framework around child influencers
Oh, yeah.
is so behind.
There really is.
Like, we have all these regulations protecting child actors.
Right.
But what about these kids who are like mini celebrities online?
Yeah, are their rights being protected?
Right. Are they even being heard?
It's like the Wild West out there.
Yeah.
It really is, with families and brands just trying to figure it out as they go.
And it's the kids who are caught in the middle.
Yeah, and then there's the digital safety aspect.
Ugh, yes.
Cyberbullying.
Scary stuff.
I know, imagine being a kid with a huge online following.
Oh, gosh.
It's like painting a target on their back.
Yeah, every post, every photo is just an opportunity for scrutiny and judgment and even harassment.
The article talks about parents sharing their kids' location, their school, their daily routines.
Yeah, it's scary how much information is out there.
It is. It makes you think twice about what you're putting out there.
Totally.
I mean, even something as simple as sharing a photo of your kid in their school uniform
Uh-huh.
could be giving away more information than you realize.
Oh, for sure.
And those seemingly innocent details can be pieced together
Right, by anyone.
by anyone with access to the internet.
It's a sobering thought.
It is.
Like, we need to be way more mindful about what we share.
So we've got privacy concerns, potential psychological impact, commercial exploitation, and digital safety risks.
That's a lot.
It's a lot to unpack, and we're just scratching the surface.
Wow.
So I'm curious, what's jumping out at you so far?
Well, I think the thing that really strikes me is just how much we're still figuring out about all of this, you know?
Yeah.
It's like we've stumbled into this uncharted territory of digital parenting,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no roadmap, no instruction manual. We're
Right.
all just making it up as we go along, trying to balance those adorable, share-worthy moments
Yeah.
with protecting our kids from the potential pitfalls.
It's a tightrope walk.
It really is.
And the stakes are so high.
They are.
You know, the article mentioned a study that found employers are increasingly checking candidates' social media profiles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, imagine that like your kid's future job prospects could be influenced by a silly video you posted when they were 5.
I mean, it's crazy to think about.
It is, right. It's like we're building their resumes before they can even write their
And
names.
it's a good way to put it.
And it makes you wonder, are we setting them up for failure?
Yeah.
You know, like, are we creating this impossible standard of online perfection
Oh, right.
that they'll inevitably struggle to live up to?
It's a valid concern.
It is.
And I think it ties into this bigger conversation about how social media is shaping our notions of identity and self-worth. I mean, think about it. We're constantly bombarded with curated versions of other people's lives. It's easy to fall into that trap of comparing ourselves,
Oh, yeah.
feeling inadequate, and for kids who are still developing their sense of self, that can be so damaging.
Especially for kids.
Yes, it's like they're growing up in a virtual hall of mirrors.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Right, surrounded by distorted images of what it means to be successful, happy, or even just normal.
Yeah, and that constant pressure to measure up, to present this perfect online persona can be incredibly overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
Even for adults.
Totally.
So imagine what it's like for a child who's still figuring out who they are.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is. And it makes me think about the mental health implications of all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
We know that social media use is linked to anxiety, depression, and body image issues in teenagers. But what about the long-term effects on kids who are exposed to this stuff from a much younger age?
That's a big question.
That is a big question.
You know, researchers are just starting to explore that,
Yeah.
and the findings are pretty concerning.
Like what?
Well, studies are showing that excessive social media use in early childhood can hinder the development of social skills, emotional regulation,
Wow.
and even attention span.
So it's not just about the content they're consuming, it's also about the time they're spending
Right.
in these virtual worlds, disengaging from real-life interactions and experiences.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Like social media was supposed to connect us, but in some ways it's creating more isolation and disconnection, especially for kids who are still developing those crucial social and emotional skills.
It's ironic.
It is.
It feels like we need a whole new set of parenting skills to navigate all of this.
I think so too.
I mean, how do you set boundaries in a world where the internet is always on?
That's a tough one.
How do you teach them about online safety when the threats are constantly evolving?
I don't know if there are easy answers to that.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but I think the key is to start early and to stay engaged.
I agree.
You know, it's about having those open and honest conversations with our kids, setting clear expectations, and modeling responsible online behavior ourselves.
Right, and being proactive.
Yeah.
Like educating ourselves about the latest trends, seeking out resources that can help us navigate this ever-changing landscape.
Totally. The article mentions a few tips for parents, and one that stood out to me was the idea of limiting oversharing. Sounds simple enough, but in practice, I think it can be really tough.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, those cute kid moments are so tempting to share.
I know.
But we need to remember that every photo, every video becomes a part of their permanent digital record.
Right. It's about thinking long term.
Exactly.
We might see a funny tantrum or a messy mealtime as a fleeting moment, but online, it's frozen in time, accessible to anyone with an internet connection.
And while it might seem harmless now, it's hard to predict how that content might be perceived in the future.
Yeah, especially as social norms and expectations evolve.
It's like we're creating these digital time capsules that could come back to haunt them later.
Oh, definitely.
And it's not just about embarrassing moments, you know. It's also about protecting their privacy. Every detail we share online, from their location to their favorite activities, builds a digital profile that can be used to target them with ads, track their movements.
Oh, gosh.
Or even worse, exploited by malicious actors.
Yeah, it's a chilling thought.
It is, and it really underscores the importance of being incredibly mindful about what we share.
I agree.
You know, the article recommends adjusting privacy settings to limit who can see our content. But honestly, even that doesn't guarantee complete protection.
Right. Once something's online, it's out there.
Exactly.
And it can be so difficult to control how it's used or shared.
It's almost like we're relinquishing control of their narrative the moment we hit that post button.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that.
And it raises a bigger question.
What's that?
If we're shaping their digital identities before they can even consent, are we robbing them of the chance to define themselves?
That's a really thought-provoking question.
It is.
And I don't think we have a definitive answer to that yet.
I don't think so either.
But it's definitely something we need to grapple with
Yeah.
as we navigate this new era of digital parenting.
Absolutely.
And it highlights the importance of involving our kids in the conversation.
Yeah.
It's giving them a voice in how their story is told online.
It's about empowering them.
It's
not just protecting them, but giving them the tools and the knowledge to make their own informed choices.
Right.
About their online presence.
It's so important.
It is. It feels like we've uncovered this whole Pandora's box of concerns when it comes to kids on social media.
Totally.
But I think it's important to remember that technology itself isn't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's all about how we use it.
Absolutely. Like fire,
Yeah.
Fire can cook our food or it can burn down our house.
Right.
It's the same with social media. It can be a tool for connection, creativity, and learning, or it can be a source of anxiety, exploitation, and harm.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to how we wield it.
Yeah, and the choices we make.
Exactly, as parents, as educators, as a society.
So much of what we've discussed boils down to finding that balance.
Right.
Embracing the positive potential of these platforms while mitigating the risks.
Yeah. And I think the big part of that is shifting our mindset a little bit.
Okay. How so?
Well, it's not about banning social media altogether.
Right.
But it's about teaching our kids how to use it responsibly and thoughtfully.
Like how to be discerning consumers of online content.
Exactly.
How to recognize misinformation, how to protect their privacy, and how to engage in respectful and meaningful interactions.
It's about raising digital citizens.
Yes.
Who are critical thinkers, not just passive consumers.
The article touches on the importance of education.
Yes.
And I think that's key.
Absolutely.
It's not just about setting screen time limits.
Right.
Or blocking certain websites.
Yeah.
It's about having those open and honest conversations with our kids about the complexities of the online world, the potential risks, and the strategies they could use to stay safe.
Right. And protect their well-being.
And those conversations need to start early.
Oh, yeah. We can't wait till they're teenagers to start talking about this stuff.
No, we got to lay the foundation from a young age.
Yeah. Teaching them about online etiquette, privacy, the importance of thinking before they post.
It's almost like we need to create a whole new curriculum.
Totally.
For digital citizenship.
Yeah.
Something that's integrated into their education from the very beginning.
I think you're right.
Like we teach kids about stranger danger in the real world.
Right?
Why not teach them about stranger danger in the digital world?
Exactly. We teach them about the importance of physical health. Why not teach them about the importance of digital well-being?
It's about recognizing that the online world is just as real as the offline world. And it comes with its own set of rules and risks and rewards.
And as parents, it's our responsibility to guide our kids through this new terrain.
Absolutely, to help them navigate it safely and responsibly.
And we don't have to do it alone,
Yeah. There are so many resources available to parents these days.
There are.
From online guides to parenting workshops to expert advice from organizations like Common Sense Media.
Exactly.
It's about reaching out, seeking support, learning from each other.
Building a community of informed and empowered parents.
Who are committed to raising kids who can thrive in the digital age.
That's the goal.
It is, and it's about recognizing that this is an ongoing conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Not a one-time lecture.
Yeah.
Technology is constantly evolving. So our parenting strategies need to evolve as well.
Absolutely.
We need to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay adaptable.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's a lot to juggle.
It is.
But I think the most important takeaway from all of this is that we have the power to shape the digital future for our kids.
You do.
It's not about being perfect.
No.
It's about being present, being proactive, and being intentional about the choices we make.
And it's about remembering that childhood is precious.
Yes.
Let's not let the allure of likes and shares overshadow the importance of real-life experiences, meaningful connections, and the joy of simply being a kid.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
Ooh, I like that.
What's one small step that you can take today to create a more positive digital environment for your child?
Yeah, what's one thing you can do right now?
Right now.
To make a difference.
To make a difference.
Yeah.
Maybe it's having a conversation about online safety. Maybe it's setting some new boundaries around screen time.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just putting your phone down and engaging in some good old-fashioned face-to-face interaction.
I love that.
Every small action
makes a difference.
Makes a difference. And remember,
what's that?
We're all in this together.
We are?
Let's support each other. Let's share our experiences and work together to create a digital world that is safe, healthy, and empowering.
For all kids.
For all kids, that's the goal.
It is.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of kids on social media.
Yeah, this is a great conversation.
It was. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
See you later.